It is such a pleasure to be here to speak with all of you about my personal fight against breast cancer. Today, I brought something that means very much to me, and no, not just my husband. I brought the Survivor Sash that was given to me at the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Walk in New York City. I look at this sash hanging in my closet just about every day, and I'm so proud to say that at the age of 33, I am healthy, cancer-free, and a breast cancer survivor. The date was December 12th, 2008, and to me, it was officially known as the day I was struck with the unlucky stick. But little did I know that looking back on it all, it was actually the day I was struck with the lucky stick, and that the years ahead, though hard, would be the best years of my life. At the age of 26, I was living my life as a single girl in New York City. I had recently started talking to a boy named Nate Dolce. And on December 7th, Nate and I went on our first date. It was amazing. For the next week, I had several doctor's appointments and kept breaking dates with him. Nate kept thinking I was blowing him off, but little did he know I was with my mom and my sister, my support system, trying to find out if I had breast cancer. Just 1 week later, I was diagnosed with stage 3B, HER2 positive, estrogen receptive, non-BRCA gene breast cancer. There really isn't a word for how I felt when I heard the words, "Your test came back and you have cancer." My first thought was, I feel so bad for my mom. I don't know if she can handle this. And my second thought was, oh crap, what does this even mean? What am I gonna go through? So that same day, I broke my date with Nate yet again. I told him to come over a few days later to my apartment to talk, and this would be the first time he'd come to my home. He came in, he sat down on the couch, and I was so nervous. I probably drank half a bottle of wine before he got there. And so finally, with my little chin quivering, I worked up the courage to say, "Nate, I have breast cancer." He looked at me and he put his hand right on top of my hand and said, "What do we do next?" And that's how we got through breast cancer. We call him Nate the Great. After that day, my life was completely turned around and upside down. First, I had a double mastectomy with lymph node removal. Then, because I was 26 at the time and set to have chemotherapy, they recommended egg retrieval. I now have 32 eggs in a freezer in Boston. Next came 8 rounds of chemotherapy, the hair loss, the no appetite, the heavy coma-like sleeping. But who knew I had such a round head? And who knew I could rock a blonde wig? During chemotherapy, I had the process of getting my expanders pumped, and then came the exchange surgery, where they put in my silicone implants. Next came the radiation, the horrible and uncomfortable skin effects, and then finally the year-long Herceptin treatments. Now, after 7 years later, I'm still on tamoxifen, a hormone therapy, fighting off any cancer cells that still think they want to stick around. But I'm not going to go into depth about my sad feelings through all of it. Being scared, being upset, and worrying about the future. Because frankly, who wants to relive all of that? And besides, that's not the purpose of today. The purpose is to let you, other survivors, families, friends, loved ones, and patients themselves, know that there is light at the end of this long, ugly tunnel. And that this journey will make you a completely different and better person as long as you embrace what's about to happen and know that no matter what, you are still you. Hair, no hair. Eyelashes, no eyelashes. Boobs, no boobs. Your body is just the shell, and it's all about your insides. Your mind, your heart, and your strength. So here's to you. When I was asked to speak today, I thought of some lessons that I learned along the way that I truly feel were part of my treatment, but had the best side effects. Everything from finding a song that makes you feel powerful and dancing around with your mom to it, to wearing some sparkles to go to your chemo treatments, to rocking your bald head and keeping yourself feeling good. It's called fighting pretty. But there is one lesson that is probably the most important, and that is to be matter of fact. When making decisions about your body, about your treatments, and about yourself and your life, you need to try and be as practical as possible. Push the emotion out of your head and think logically about that situation. When my doctor told me that I had breast cancer in my left breast at the ripe old age of 26, they didn't outright recommend a double mastectomy, but they told me the chances of getting breast cancer in my right breast would increase by 1% every year. And so if I did the math, at the time I was 36, I would have a 10% chance. At the time I was 46, I'd have a 20% chance. So you get the picture. I remember thinking, I don't want to come to the day where I have to decide if I'm going to get my breast removed. My mom and sister were an absolute wreck. The doctor walked out of the office, I looked at them both and said, I'm having double mastectomy. It was an easy decision. You just have to remember, it's not about being vain. It's not about what's going to look good. I had beautiful breasts. I had great cleavage. And now I would have scars. I might be flat-chested. I didn't know what was up ahead. But what I did know was that I was completely focused on doing everything in my power to never hear the words, "You have breast cancer," again. And if that meant getting rid of my breasts, then so be it. New boobs or no boobs, I would live cancer-free. Sometimes I look down or I look in the mirror and wonder how all of this happened. But when I see those scars that go across my new boobs, I'm so thankful that they are there. Because let's face it, if they weren't there, I might not be here sharing my experiences with all of you. After I was finished with treatment, I was really seeking a way to get involved with breast cancer awareness. So in 2011, I walked on my first Making Strides Against Breast Cancer walk in New York City. And only 2 years ago, started my own nonprofit called Fighting Pretty, where we help women battling cancer feel strong and beautiful. Going to the Making Strides walk was an experience in itself. I asked family and friends to join me, and when signing up to raise money, I thought it would be a daunting task. In a very short time, people came out of the woodwork to donate tens, 20s, and even hundreds of dollars. For me, I just wanted to help in any small way that I could. And this wasn't just about walking. This was about celebrating me and all of the other amazing fighters and survivors that would walk alongside of me at this walk. Not only did I feel powerful walking with my boyfriend Nate, my closest friends and family, but when I walked up to the counter and was presented with this sash, I couldn't catch my breath. I was crying with such happiness, and it was better than graduating college. It was better than getting a huge raise. Knowing that I was a survivor was the best feeling in the world. Then, when I went over to give them all the money that I had fundraised, everyone at the tent started yelling and blowing horns and cheering. I was completely overwhelmed with emotion. I was so proud of myself that I fought through cancer and that the American Cancer Society was there to honor me. But all in all, I want you to leave today knowing that breast cancer is a very real and scary thing. And it does take a long time to get through, but you will become more powerful, more intelligent, and more beautiful than you ever have been in your whole life. There's something about feeling like you've been targeted to handle this disease, but you must believe in your heart and your head that you will fight through it. Looking back on the last almost 7 years, I have gone through so many changes. I have beat the heck out of cancer. I moved to Portland, Oregon last year from New York City. I married Nate the Great. I am helping women to continue fighting pretty through their cancer journey. And I have become a woman that I didn't even know I could be. I'm here today to let you know that just when you think you're hit with the unlucky stick, there may be happiness, health, love, and strength right around the corner. And maybe God is just trying to save your life. So thanks to you and the American Cancer Society for allowing me to share my experiences with you. I wish you all the very best and cannot wait to see you at the walk in October. At this point, I would like to end by saluting all of my fellow fighters and survivors here today and ask that you stand with me and hold those signs for the fight against breast cancer.